When I learned about Cooper Union when I was 15 years old, I thought finally there's a place where the discipline of fine art is considered rightly next to engineering and architecture as one of the three building blocks of society. And Peter Cooper knew this. He had the vision and the foresight to bring us together.
My name is Wes Rosen.
My name is Catherine Sanso.
I'm Tamashi Jackson, and I graduated from the School of Art in 2010.
I graduated from the architecture school in 2005.
I graduated from the civil engineering department at Cooper Union in 2014. Looking at past Menschel projects, and I was like, I don't notice any similarity between these. And the more that I look at them, like, it blows my mind how similar things are that we did, but like from such different directions. And we all like basically did the same thing in different avenues. Like, that's the part that kills me.
For my Menschel, I took a look at wind energy and went out to a wind farm in California and hired a helicopter to fly over the wind farm and took photos and video. And then the second part of the project entailed building a wind-catching film-making machine. It was basically a cart that had a windmill on top of it. There were cameras mounted on the outside, and it would spin at different speeds depending on how much wind the machine caught. Put the machine on top of buildings in New York, out at a park near the East River, and then out at the end of the runway at the LaGuardia Airport. In the end, we had the film of the city spinning based on the amount of wind in the area. While flying above a wind farm in California, I was excited and troubled to see that there was a landfill near the wind farm that could only be seen from above. There was a mile-long fence that was built between the landfill and the wind farm to catch plastic bags, and it was completely plastered in plastic bags. It was interesting to see how actually that fence and the plastic would be affected by wind. That work continues to be a part of my practice in a children's book that I'm making about how kids can sort of engage newer forms of collecting wind energy in relation to fossil fuels.
My Menschel project focused on environmental engineering and civil engineering infrastructure. In 2013, I went to Cambodia for a marine wildlife biodiversity project and was struck by this village that I stayed in, and it was a really small village, probably about 500 people, and they were very transient, meaning that they would stay on this island and they would deplete all the natural resources of that island, and then they would just hop over to the next adjacent one. And when I was talking to a lot of the locals there, they expressed more of a desire to identify with like one collective place where they can raise their kids and have memories. So as a civil engineer, I looked around and saw a few things that I thought they could do differently to make a more sustainable island. And that kind of led me to looking at these ponds that they would have, where they would throw a bunch of plastics and things that are not biodegradable into this man-made basin. I created a pump and infiltration system that had three main points. First being that it was easily constructible, and it was made from locally sourced materials, and it was easily repairable. With any invention, it obviously gets better and better when more people use it and build off of it. So last time I looked, I think they were even doing a better version of what I had originally tried to implement.
My Menschel project took me to Belize in Central America, and it was focused on collective memory and waste management. I visited Belize and I noticed a lot of plastic and polystyrene waste. It had been a self-sufficient fishing town. This is a community that farmed, but what I saw was a lot of ocean plastic waste. So there were some parts of Belize that I visited that were known for just having these beautiful ocean sides just littered with all of this plastic and polystyrene waste. A lot of people wanted to distance themselves from this backbreaking work that was associated with slavery. So people didn't want to work the land anymore. You know, people wanted to have a plastic bag. A lot of people wanted to have a plastic bag to walk around the town with, even if it was just like one little object in it, because for a lot of people it signified that the person carrying the bag had money to make a purchase. You know, once that bag got from point A to point B, it was suddenly valueless and then would be in the street. So we went around town with Power to Grow, an organization that's focused on women's empowerment in Belize and AIDS and HIV education. We turned the project into an opportunity to walk with community members to collect garbage, take it back to the Powell workshop space, and then make them usable. And then Zoe facilitated linoleum cuts to make images, and then we did a printmaking workshop. But my goal was to produce a body of work based on that research. My question was like, how could this experience translate into new materials? So I came back working with translucent materials, experiments on gauze. I made lithographs, and I made sculptures out of plastic. The Menschel is so special because I feel like, you know, perhaps among each of our disciplinary homes here, they were just doing a little something else, you know?
Yeah.
And there wasn't really a pre-existing discourse for it. I feel like a false rift between our three schools. We are all connected.
Yeah.
Actual drawing is what links us all and makes us very special at Cooper Union. And I think we should do something together, a transdisciplinary practice.
But yeah, drawing class could be a good way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, having a drafting class where engineers, artists, and architects are all working with the instruments of drafting or just drawing by hand.
I had friends in every school, and I would sit in on charrettes. My drawing teachers were like, what is she doing?
Yeah.
Like, why is she going to the school? She's in the School of Art. Why is she going to the School of Architecture to take this class, you know?
Yeah.
But I ended up being really influenced by your use of Mylar, the layering, the transparency, and that turned into language that I'm still using in my painting language now. I think it seems a little crazier to some people here who maybe feel compelled to hold on to this notion of like we are in these isolated silos, but literally for the health of our institution, for the future of our institution, to understand the history of our institution, we have to stop that.
Through the support of Menschel, we're able to go out on these very personal trips and come back and put photos, put weird machines that we built in gallery spaces here. And as a 21-year-old, whatever, that was very empowering.